I've lost it.
Hey, good evening, everybody.
Welcome back, everybody. As usual, I'm having trouble with my phone and and the channel. I don't know
Yeah.
why. Somebody
Yeah,
doesn't.
now we're trying to share everything here real quick, so give us a minute.
Yeah,
Hope
well,
everybody had a good Father's Day. Uh, I didn't do a whole lot. I kind of stayed at home. It's kind of nice.
yeah, that's right. Well, I play nine holes of golf in the morning.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, just to have something to do. But yeah,
Well, it was too hot, so I really didn't want to do anything. I did sit in the pool, had a drink or two, but that's about it.
yeah. You know what? I keep refer. There it is. There it is. By golly, I got it.
You got it. There you
I
go.
got it. Son of a gun. I'm on
Hey,
there. We got Alejandro, we got Donald on there. This is
yeah, I
great.
haven't seen anybody yet.
Well, the
Oh,
weather
there it
was,
is. There you go.
yeah, yeah. The weather was flat calm this morning. I can tell you that when I crossed Howard Franklin. It was like
Yeah,
flat,
that's
flat. The wind picked up this afternoon, but it's supposed to be like that all week till about 12, 1 o'clock, and then it picks up.
Yeah, I mean that's a normal pattern. This past week has just been blowing night and day, and it's been kind of frustrating. And it hasn't been 5 to 10 like they said. It's always been above that.
Yeah, I mean, if it was just 10, you can live with it, but it's 14 to 20, 25 down here.
Yeah, yeah,
And but today when we crossed Howard Franklin, on the way back it was 10 o'clock and it was flat calm. I mean, just too flat. But then I got up here towards San Antonio and the wind's blowing like crazy.
really.
But it looks like it's going to hold its own till about 11:30, 12, 1 o'clock, and then it'll start to pick up a little bit. But that's good. Hey, gets you out there early in the morning, get all the fishing done before it gets too hot.
Yeah, that's the key. Is getting out there and getting done and being back at the dock. You know, 10, 11 o'clock if you can, because it just gets too hot. It's miserable. It's no fun to do.
Well, especially for some of the boats that don't have a T-top. That's got to be murder.
Yeah,
Oh God. At least I got a T-top. I can hide under the T-top.
yeah.
But woo.
Well, yeah. And the day we went out, and I'm sending Hota the picture right now. So when I talk, he can show that picture. But we went out Thursday, Thursday or Friday. I forget what day it was. Did a little reef fishing. It was pretty good. The reefs are kind of kicking off right now.
A lot of
Um,
grouper or
Yeah, we
minor
caught a bunch of
snapper.
grouper. We hooked into a couple of nice ones, and unfortunately, we were fishing with the smaller. This is how it goes: you're fishing with the smaller rods, getting grunts and getting nice mangroves. You can hang into a grouper, right, and it breaks you off because you're only fishing 15-pound test. So you bring a rod that's going to catch the big grouper, and do they bite it?
No,
No.
no, that happens every time. That I bring two 6,000s with 40, 50-pound test, right?
Uh-huh.
And 40-pound leader. And then I got some 3,000s with 15-pound test. Oh no. I mean, you can hold that big 6,000 for an hour and never get a bite. As soon
Yeah.
as you grab the little one, bam, and you just can't stop them.
No, no,
It's
and
like they
that's
know.
That's what happened. I mean, it was funny because I mean, we even, the leader, we downsized the leader because a lot of times, people got a real thick leader and those, that clear water, those fish can see it. So we downsized that, did everything possible, even downsized the baits because we were using smaller baits for the mangroves. It didn't matter. They just did not want to touch that rod. I don't know what it was, but we kept breaking off the other ones, but could not get a bigger one off that bigger rod. So it is what it is. It's just,
I found out here in the Bay, I normally use like a 32-inch leader for everything. I go
mhm.
to a 4-foot leader.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Just maybe, I don't know. I mean, that you don't think they would see the braided line is so thin, but and I'm using a jig head, 1 ounce jig head.
yeah,
You think that, but no, that does. It's I don't know what it is. It's the leader. I don't know what. I can't understand it.
yeah. Now I don't know. It was weird because, like I said, we even downsized it just to make sure. Because when you're using 15-pound leaders, it's pretty thin. So we downsized it to, I think, about 20 or so, and it still didn't matter. They just would not, for some reason, hit that rod. I don't know. It's just one of those things. If it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. So, but we had a lot of fun, caught a lot of fish. But we had
How deep
nice,
of water? How deep of water are you fishing, Mike, for the scooper?
about 6 foot. So,
Oh man, that's perfect.
yeah,
I love to catch them because they fight. You get them a 6 foot. I mean, you don't have a lot of chance to turn them around because they're there.
No, you've got a couple things, and these rocks that we have got these ledges. They're about this tall, so it takes them just 2 seconds to get in there and flare those gills out, and it's basically. And we had a couple that did flare their gills, and you kind of play the banjo, just keep twanging that line, kind of irritates them a little bit. Sometimes they come out. If that doesn't work, just let the bail go, and just watch that line. If that line starts moving, then yank them again. And we did that a couple times. It got some bigger grouper. They weren't legal size, but they were bigger size, bigger grouper on that lighter stuff, and that seemed to work. But yeah, if you get them off that ledge.
You know what I hear about Crystal River captains that are fishing in that shallow water like that? They jump in the water to get the grouper out of the rod.
Oh, well, yeah. If I had a client, yeah, I would do it. Take my mask and jump down there and pull that thing out of there. But yeah, it screw up the rest of the fishing for the afternoon. But you just move to another rock. But yeah, it was fun. The offshore stuff off the little rocks and reefs out there were definitely it. The inshore has just been slow.
The mango snapper bite. I'm going to go tomorrow and go south and try it. But up in the upper part of the bay, it's been slow compared to previous years. The mango snapper. Don't ask me. Earlier in the season, I caught quite a few nice mango snapper, and then it's like they kind of quit biting for a while. And last week, I went to 3 or 4 of my really good spots, and for mango snapper, and that was it. No, I couldn't. There was nothing there. Yeah. Or maybe the other thing I was thinking too. I didn't have shrimp, not even dead shrimp, and all the bait that we got last week were a little big. In other words, for mango snapper, you want the smaller baits, and these things were pretty big baits. I mean, they were perfect for a nice big snook.
Yeah.
But even for a redfish, unless it was a real big redfish, I think it was a little big. So I tried cutting bait, everything else, and that didn't seem to work. So I gave up on those spots.
Yeah. No, the inshore, the water temperature's up in the upper 80s right now. Oxygen levels kind of dying. We're going to go out tomorrow, do a little scouting and look for some new waters. Because most of the places we're looking for, these inshore reds and snook and everything, it just kind of fell off. Normally we've got these, a pattern we usually do every summer, and it's just not working this time. So we've got to find something new.
And you have to find those deeper potholes where the water might be a little cooler, you think?
I think, around here, there's not too many deep potholes. Most of the potholes are going to be kind of farther away from everything. And they don't really, it's not like Tampa Bay and places like that where they just find these potholes and they just kind of sit. For some reason here, it doesn't work that way. The only time that works is a little bit more in the wintertime than in the summertime. Don't know why. You would think, because there are several places that, you've got, it's only 3 to 4 foot, but you got a pothole and it makes it about 6 foot. And there's a few places we've got springs that you can actually physically see a spring. So massive area. It's got nice ledges and everything else like that, but the fish just don't hang around them. So I don't know. Now they'll hang around those places offshore, but inshore around the mangroves, you're going to see some mangrove snapper and some grunt in there, but they are so picky in what they eat.
You think that maybe they're getting hit too hard, or the netters, because there's been a lot of mullet netters.
Yeah, that's the other thing that seems to be a problem that's happening lately, and I'm sure it's something that's happened for many years, but for some reason right now, There's a lot of mullet fishermen out right now just buzzing those islands in the evening time and netting a bunch of mullet up and kind of spooking some of the fish in our patterns. So that's why we're going to go do some scouting tomorrow and try to figure some things out because, yeah, we got to find a different location of some fish, and we got to find a few of them. You can't just find one location. You got to have a lot in your pocket.
Well, yeah, because I mean, you could find one location today and go there tomorrow, and they've moved.
Correct.
So,
Correct.
so you got to have 4 or 5 locations. So if they're not here, go to try the other one that you found some fish. I can understand that. And Dennis was saying the same thing that he's having the same problem down in Sanibel, and we still have no bait up here.
No.
I mean, you can get out there early in the morning. Don't get me wrong, and be there before daybreak and just chum your heart out, and you might get 100 baits.
Mm-hmm.
And I said you might, and then you might not. Because
Yeah.
as soon as there's any kind of daylight, the bait is gone, and hundreds of little pinfish, not even fishable pinfish. These things are about a 1 inch in size. You know,
Yeah.
if they were 2 inch, I like pinfish that are about silver dollar size. You know, so
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the other thing. It's something we've been noticing in our traps as well. We're getting a lot, smaller pinfish than we're used to. So I don't know what's kind of going on with all that, but the mangrove snapper love those small pinfish. That's what they seemed to be chewing on the other day. They like to eat those smaller ones. So, it's okay if you go in there on the reefs and find some mangrove snapper because they'll eat those things up real quick. But the majority of what we caught, shrimp, just jigging the shrimp around. So that seemed to work. But yeah, the pins, most of the pins are smaller than what we're used to. We like the 3 to 4 inch. And if they're a little bit bigger than that, we cut them down. But 3 to 4 inches is decent, but because you can cast them well, they will cast a long way, and especially if you're trying to fish some of the open waters that we do in the summertime, you want to get a long cast as much as you can, and especially with the wind and everything else, it's harder to throw a minnow like this than it is. So
yeah. And the shrimp right now, I mean, normally this is a small time of the year that the shrimp are small, but they're extremely small. Extremely small.
That's
down here now.
Yeah.
Each area is different.
Mm-hmm.
But the shrimpers are not going out too far, I guess, because of the gas situation.
Right.
And there's no large, there's no selects. And what I'm looking at mediums, they almost look like regulars.
Yeah. Now we're doing actually pretty good with shrimp right now. We got it in a couple different places, a couple different days, and we've got some decent sized shrimp. They're all good average size, nothing monsters, but all those little things like this are no longer there. You're getting your good quality shrimp. So ours is working so far.
I'm glad to see that.
Mm-hmm.
And tomorrow I'm going to go first try to fish around the ship's channel, see if I get some big mangroves, and try to get some just for the fun of it, hook some grouper, and then work my way back up and fish Wheaton Island, because I've been staying away from Wheaton Island now for months because everybody says, Sergio's, the bite is slow. The bite is slow. There's so many boats going in there. But I might tomorrow on the way back just hit some of my old spots and see if there's anything at all back in there. Where, I had one place, Mike, that I could go to right towards the end of the incoming, the start of the outgoing. And I mean, you could sit there and actually pull 15, 20, 22 grouper, couple of mangrove snapper, 1 or 2 big trout from underneath the bushes.
Mm-hmm.
And the 4 or 5 times that I went there, nothing, not even a bite. It's like a desert. I mean, nothing. Not even nibbles. So I don't know.
Yeah. Have you tried those rocks that we found over the wintertime though?
The ones that you want about the ship's channel?
Yeah, where we saw those buoys as well, kind of marking everything over there.
Yeah, I got to try that.
Yeah,
I that's the one that when we're coming back in or going out.
Right.
I might try that tomorrow. I've got it marked. I haven't tried because there's something down there,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
there was what,
there was a
four
lot of
buoys.
fish that we caught that
Yeah.
day. And you said you wanted to go try it again during the, during the warmer months, and maybe that's, maybe
So I
it'll
might try that
produce for you.
tomorrow because there was four buoys on there.
Yeah.
So there had to be something. It wasn't crab traps.
No, there was some rock down there, definitely. So yeah, maybe it'll produce. It was, I think it was deep enough water and everything too. I think it was at least 20 foot. So
Now, Donald hasn't said much. He said he had a great outing last Saturday at the Dunedin Causeway. Well, so what was a good Saturday, Donald? What did you
yeah,
catch? That's what hey, what was a good outing? I noticed that he says he didn't have a great catching. He said a great outing.
great outing. Yeah.
He's playing on words. Does that mean that the bite was slow? Or you guys had just a lot of fun? One of the two, you know.
Mhm.
So let's see what if he's listening. But I hope this. I'm still not getting any rain where I'm at. I mean, the last
Mhm.
2 or 3 days, I could see dark clouds north of me, east of me, and you kept thinking, boy, we're going to get some rain. Never hit this area. Never.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we've it's still been kind of hit or miss here. It's raining great in Ocala, but pretty much from Ocala east, perfect. But over here, and that, like I said, all that wind that we've had, just that onshore wind, just kind of kept the clouds away from us for a while. But we could hear the thunder and see all the dark skies and thinking, oh yeah, it's gonna come, and never.
Same way
We
here.
got
It
one day
looks
of
like
rain.
the rain is staying on the east side of the interstate of I-75. It doesn't want to come. It doesn't want to cross the interstate because
Yeah.
I've gone down, and it'll be raining around New Tampa and that area. I mean, just pouring cats and dogs. Then you
Yeah.
come up over here and there's nothing, not even a drop.
Right.
So it's crazy. Now they're talking about some new rules on grouper. There was some talk about it, and let me see if I
Find it.
let's see if I there was some talk about grouper, and if I got it here, no. They were talking about that again, the same old story. The public is catching too much, and they're going to have to just do this and do that.
How do you
And
catch too much with a whole year off?
yeah, that's what I don't understand.
Mhm.
And now on the
Yeah.
East Coast, they were going to put a bunch of new regulations. Also, how do they know how much? Just at the boat ramp, I had them come up when I was launching out of Gandy, for example, on the weekends or once in a while. Somebody will be there saying, "Hey, can you tell us what you caught? Can you show us what you caught? How many did you catch? How many did you release?" Well, nature as it is, and I'm not saying anything, but some people maybe caught two fish and they say, "Oh no, man, the trout bite was terrific. We just let them all go." And
Yeah.
it makes them feel good. Well, uh, but actual catch, I just can't believe that the average person is out catching the commercial guys.
No.
And that's what they're saying. They're saying that the average guy is catching up to 30-40% more grouper than the commercial guys are. That's why
Right.
they got to put a stop.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't.
again, I mean, how do you hit that quota in what they've given us? What, 2 weeks? Last year before that, 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, how do you overcatch a quota of so many pounds just by recreational? And you gotta imagine that the majority of people can only get out there on the
weekends. And then
So,
the
I mean, you do
weekends,
have
some
charter
guys are
captains who do
brilliant.
it all
What
14
happens?
days, but at two apiece, you're not having 20 people on the boat. So I have a problem with that. Yeah, I don't agree with
I
it.
don't think those numbers are equates as well as they
No.
want us to
But I
believe.
mean, FWC does that, and I was a part of it for a while, and they haven't called me this year, but for a while there, they would call you every couple of weeks and just ask you what you caught, on certain days
Yeah,
and
they
stuff
used
like
to do
that.
that to me. I haven't heard from them in about 6 months.
Yeah, I did it for about 3 or 4 years. I haven't heard from them this year, but budget restraints, I'm sure. Uh,
Yeah.
but you know, I'm sure they have that for for captains. But again, I just don't see the quota as being hit as far as the recreational. Now the commercial definitely, but the recreational guy, we're not catching more than what's allowed. Either that or that quota that they have is so low, it's ridiculous. So I
I
just
mean, I
don't.
mean, I could be wrong. I just can't see the average angler doing as much damage as they say, especially like you said, you got it open for 2 weeks.
Mhm.
Well, the weather's been terrible for the last 2 or 3 years. And in 2 weeks, a lot of the people got to work for a living. They
Right.
only can go out on the weekend. If that weekend it was blowing, nobody went
Mhm.
out. The
Yeah.
average guy didn't go out. I'm not I'm not saying that, let's say if there was going to be 1,000 going out that weekend, maybe 100 went out.
Hmm.
Because if it's blowing as hard as it's been blowing during that time of the year, I just can't see one boat going out with three people getting two apiece.
Well, maybe what we need to do is have a biologist on and talk to us. FWC biologist, saltwater, and maybe ask them how this happened, because their biologists are the ones I've met a few, but most of the ones I've met and taken out are the freshwater side. So they don't really have a whole lot of information on the saltwater side. But maybe that's something we need to try to find one of the biologists who kind of help and know and do these studies to kind of figure out, where do they come up with these numbers? And
Well,
again, it may not be FWC. The FWC may not be the ones doing it. It could just be NOAA doing it, and they're working with FWC, and FWC has to put out the regulations based on the government.
yeah,
So that's
but
another question. It's hard to say.
I know that on some of these cases, these guys, like for example, I tried to get some FWC people, not biologists, but Marine Patrol. I've gone in to see them, at the Gandy boat ramp. Hey, I want to do a show with them. Let's talk about this. Yeah, we'll get back to you because, I got to get my commander
Yeah,
approval.
well, yeah, they've got
And
public relations as well. So
yeah, and then nothing happens because they
right.
don't want them talking to you. They're afraid they might say something that we're going to say, hey, wait a minute, I didn't know
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, we're not here for a gotcha moment. We just want to learn.
That's right. I mean, that's all I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing too is I've been getting a lot of feedback from a lot of people about CCA that they're still not happy that this year they didn't have the star tournament. But of
No.
course, I think you and I have talked about that. If people
Hmm.
don't participate, you can't have a star tournament.
Right.
And but I've been taking little surveys every time I bump. Have you ever fished the star tournament? Yeah. Did you sign up? No, I haven't done it in the last 2 years. Why? And I would say not 100%, but a majority of the people that I've spoken to, their feedback was it got too diluted.
Hmm.
It got away from the core of what it was. It was a redfish tournament, and you geared up for that, and you got pumped up for that, and then it got diluted. Too many things were given away, and then of
Hmm.
course what happens is the economy hasn't been the greatest as far as boat companies for a while, man, they were making all the money they wanted to. I
Yeah.
mean, I remember during COVID, you can go in and they tell you, well, it's going to be 10% over sticker and you got to wait a year and you got to sign now. And the contracts even read that if prices went up while you were waiting for your boat, they added that to the cost of it. Well, now
Hmm.
they're discounting boats 10 and 15% because
Yeah.
nobody wants to buy a boat. So,
Right.
a lot of that probably plays into a lot of the stuff. Boat manufacturers don't want to be giving boats away anymore.
Hmm. Oh no.
The profit isn't there,
Right.
you know. And I don't know
Yeah.
what kind of deal CC8, but they used to have a Pathfinder. They used to have like a Hughes, and then somebody else donated one, and Carolina Skiff used to donate one. And I mean, they had 4 or 5 boats. And remember, Chevy used to give away a truck
Oh yeah.
because one of my students was the first year won the pickup truck.
Hmm.
For one of my students from my fishing school, because he called me, he was so happy. Hey, I got the winning thing. I tagged redfish and I won the truck.
Yeah.
And that went away. I didn't see the last, anybody trucks anymore.
No, not for the past few years. There hasn't been a vehicle with it at all. So, yeah, they're definitely, the economy has a lot to do with it, and the fishing industry as a whole. Hard to give away things when you're losing money. They like to give away. They'll give away things for tax reasons, but they've also got to have something to get back from it too. And if it's not happening, then they're not going to give those.
Well,
things.
if business is really slow and your bottom line's thin,
Mm-hmm.
Hey, tax write-off is good, but you might not be able to need that tax write-off because you
Right.
got bad enough as it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of CCA, over here in Ozello, CCA just released a whole bunch of tagged redfish. Now, again, this is not for the tournament or anything else like that. They just released, let's see, at Pirates Cove in Ozello, with Duke Energy and Discover Crystal River. Each fish was tagged, and if recaptured, lucky angler will win a prize from the business that adopted the fish. So they're having adopt a fish for $100. So a business adopted the fish, put a tag on it, and they released it out there. So up in Ozello area in Crystal River, if you catch a tagged redfish, you have to contact Duke Energy or Discover Crystal River. Prize values for the fish range from $50 to $500. So they come to the Citrus County to experience an amazing fishery, a chance to win great prizes for a tagged redfish. So we do have that going on with CCA. So they may be doing a little bit more local stuff of these type of tournaments. Again, the prize is $100 or $50 or up to $500, depending on what company, how much they donated for each fish. So you may see those type of things happening around Florida more than just the big, massive tournament that they used to have. So, they're one way or the other, they're trying. So,
well, that's good because, I think they need to get back on track and get going again.
Yeah, I think it's back to the roots of what this whole thing was about, and it's stocking fish, restocking the populations. That to me, I think is their core values, is trying to build up the fisheries more and more and more. So it's not bad. I think it's a good thing.
So, and Donald hasn't answered our question. I don't know if he's still.
Well, I'm gonna refresh this page because sometimes your comments don't show up for some reason. And
mine hasn't changed in quite a while, so I'm a little concerned about that too. And the internet sometimes it gets kind of.
No comments.
Nope, nothing, no comments. Yeah, I mean, I got Scotty. I got Scotty Roseman watching, and Dennis and Donald, but mine hasn't been.
He said he missed
Donald. I missed it. Donald, what did you catch last Saturday? Let's see if he comes back with an answer. So ICAST is coming up next month.
Yeah. Are we going?
Well, you know what? I got approved every year. I've been going there when it was in Las Vegas 20 years ago, 25 years ago.
Yeah.
We used to go to Las Vegas to go. And now it got to where I wanted to get a ticket for Ron.
Yeah.
So I got approved, it was going
Right.
to cost me $125, no problem, under media. So I said, okay, I need to put Ron. No, he's got to go out on his own and get approved. Well, they won't approve him because he's not media. He doesn't have a place. And
how? Oh boy.
And it kind of ticked me because I've the last 2 or 3 years, if I've had a complaint about ICAST, is number one, that it's after COVID, it never came back to its full size.
Right.
It's about 65% of what it used to be. And then number two, I see a lot of people there fooling around, doing all kind of stuff that I'm saying, are these people either own tackle stores and they're not very kosher, or there's just kids that they're letting these guys come in somehow. They're not vetting it, so I don't know.
Yeah. So Donald's been to
Lots of trout.
2 times.
Yeah, he's been. So I started going when it was in Vegas, and I enjoyed it better in Vegas. I like Vegas better than Orlando. I hate Orlando. Oh yeah, I hate that place. The traffic. It should take me less than an hour from my house to get to Orlando, and it takes 2 hours because of the traffic. I mean, you hit that I-4 and you're moving. Yeah, I'm going to get there. And then when you get about 4 or 5 miles west of US 27, it's like 5 miles an hour the rest of the way, all the way in to Orlando.
Yeah. For me to go there, it's the Turnpike, and I remember when the Turnpike, there was nobody on it, and now that Turnpike is just bumper to bumper the whole way, and there's constant traffic or constant construction. They're widening it, and it's just slowly creeping back to this direction, but it's a mess. It's just a mess.
So Donald said, "Yeah, that's what they were charging me. I paid my $100.
They're charging people $100 or more.
Yeah,
and
now
it used
it's
to be
gone up.
If you were a captain and had a legitimate captain's business, they invited you to go. You don't
anymore. Now it's $100, and you have to donate $25 to their thing.
Yeah,
they automatically going to add that to the $100. You can't get away with it, So I don't know. I keep losing for some reason, the internet here today. I keep losing you guys, and you're coming right back though. But I don't know what it is.
Yeah. That's why I had to get an extender at my place.
No, I mean, I never had this problem. It's like, it's just, the screen just turns dark and then it comes back on. So I'm losing the picture, but that's
he says the Dolphins kept trying to steal his trout. Where were you finding trout? We got to go some miles offshore for trout.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I had one guy says, "Oh, you staged that picture of the dolphin. You were feeding the dolphin." No, we weren't. When Don, it scared the heck out of him. Almost bit his right hand because he was trying to revive that snook by the boat, and that dolphin came from underneath the boat and just grabbed it. In fact, I didn't even take the picture. The other guy on the boat had his camera, and he was taking it takes a bunch of pictures in a row, like 6 or 7, and that's how those pictures came out. Right. But he says he's not going to Orlando. Yeah, well, it looks like I'm not going this year because you would think that their business is down. That they lost one of their biggest people that displayed there, which was Pure Fishing.
Yeah,
Pure Fishing doesn't go there anymore. They built their own warehouse conference center, where they bring the buyers in, and they got it set up bigger than they can at ICAST. And so I don't know why they're thinking, because they've been down. I mean, last year when I went, I was amazed. The year before it was way down. Last year was a little better, but normally it would take me 2 days to go through the whole thing and talk to some people and all that. And Don and I, by 2:15, we were done.
Wow.
We looked at each other and said, "God, we walked this whole place." We talked to, because a lot of the people, there was a lot of Chinese companies there. There wasn't, people you want to talk to. They were looking, and there was a lot of people that we talked to a couple of them that they didn't even have the product. They were inventors, and they were there trying to get somebody to buy the product and produce it.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you went there and you liked the product, you couldn't even buy it.
Right.
Because it wasn't available. So, I mean, I don't know. But listen, well, let's get Tony Franklin's fishing report.
Yeah, sounds good.
Hi, Captain Tony Franklin back with this week's fishing charter. We had quite a windy week for the most part, it died down by today is Sunday when I'm doing this fishing report, just getting off a charter. Been extremely windy. We've been dodging the wind, fishing areas out of the wind, but we ended up catching some really nice snook this week. Hooked 2 big ones that we got pictures with. Caught a real big redfish also. So the action's been good. Trout action's still been good, 5-6 feet of water. Around the moving tide though, most of the incoming stronger tides seem to work best this week. Towards the end of the week, the outgoing tide, the trout bite wasn't quite as good. The mackerel fishing's been okay, but it's slowed down a little bit. Mangrove snapper around a lot of structures, rocky formations in that area. And we did catch quite a few smaller snook this week also, besides the larger ones. So there's been good action out there. A lot of Jack Crevalles around. There's good action, bonnethead sharks. So there's been definite action out there, but it's definitely hot. Make sure and stay hydrated. Take lots of water out on there, with you out on the water. And there's bait out there, but it's starting to get a little bit small. But don't worry about the small bait. You got to put a little tiny split shot on there to get it out. They'll eat these small baits, and they love them. So don't worry about the bait if it's small. Just get it on a #1 hook and get it out there. That's my report for this week. Tight lines. I'll see you next week.
Way to go, Tony. You know, he's out there with the kids camp, so he's out there 5 days a week.
Yeah.
I mean, and the only thing bad about the kids camp thing is you got these kids, you got to go fishing. It's not like, ooh, tomorrow, no. With the kids camp, you got to go.
Yeah.
I mean, you got no choice. I hate to say that, but
Yep.
they do a good job. Those captains out there, I mean, they really, they put in their hard work to get to where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
I give them credit, Yeah. But again, that's another problem with Tampa Bay and the whole bay down here. I don't know about where you're at, but we got like 3 different fish camps out of St. Pete, out of Gandy, one out of Apollo Beach, and each one there's 9 or 10 captains or 12 captains taking 4 kids on a boat. When you think about that, let's say there's 36 captains, that's 120 something kids every day fishing.
Yeah, and that's you've got Dave from Betts doing it up there, Newport Richey area too.
Is there one up in Newport Richey too?
Yeah, he's doing it for a few weeks there. So yeah, there's a lot of those camps. I'd like to do one here as well. We've been talking about it, trying to see if we can get it organized to do so, and have some kids camp for that as well. But it's going to take some time to get it organized and get it all together. But we've been kind of trying to put some plans together to see what we could do. Biggest problem we have in this area is a venue. There's just not many places that you can hold a bunch of kids during the day, teaching about this and teaching about that, and then take them out on the water because it's transportation, it's back and forth. So that's kind of one of those logistic things that's a little difficult here because there's no real place to have them other than outdoors, and you don't want them outdoors all day, in that sun, in that heat. You gotta have them.
That's what they do here. They pick them up at 9 at Hula Bay, and they bring them back at 1 o'clock.
Yeah,
and they're out there all day.
Okay.
4 hours.
Like I said, because my thought is having at least a day or so in the classroom, teaching about this or that, and then
these kids, they'll drive you crazy. They won't tolerate that. They want to be on the water. And what happens is, what concerns me is I see a lot of them, they'll take them like the picnic island, and that's okay. Let them jump in and swim. But still, something could happen. Mm-hmm. And then some of them, they let them out around some areas where, hey, if they step on a stingray or something happens, and you better read, I don't know about your insurance, but if you read Charter Lakes, there's a little clause in there that says that if you're going to have people fishing from your boat in the water, there's an extra binder that you have to buy.
Yes. Yeah.
If not, once it steps off your boat, if something happens to that person in the water, they don't cover you.
Correct.
It's got to be inside your boat.
Yep. Yeah, and that's the thing, especially with the scalloping up here. You've got to have that extra kind of little extra. God, the word eludes me, but you got to have another addendum to your policy to cover people that are off your boat doing scalloping or fishing or whatever else. Because that's an extra clause to cover them.
And it's not free. You got to pay for
No, and unfortunately, it's not cheap. It's not just a few dollars.
If you think about it, I mean, it's really a chance that they're taking.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, kids like that, it's a chance. I mean, anybody, whether it's a kid or an adult, with the stingrays that we have in the summer, some of the oysters that are in the rocks that are underneath the gravel.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a cut can get infected real easy.
Oh, yeah.
A stingray can hurt you pretty bad.
Yeah. And this is a time of year that you got to pay attention out there. If you have any cuts or big cuts or anything else around, on your feet, on your legs, anywhere, if you're out there swimming, because of the flesh-eating bacteria. And I think we already have one case of it just a little south of us already this year. So
wow,
it's something to pay attention to. If you've got something going on, some sores or some surgery or something else like that, avoid getting the water till it's completely healed. It's just, that I've seen that close up and firsthand. It is painful. It is horrible, and
you can die from it.
Yes, you can. Sepsis and everything else. It's a life-threatening thing.
Sure.
So pay attention to it.
All right. Well, let's get Michael Dawson's fishing report.
Hi guys, Captain Michael Dawson here, Patriotic Guide Service, here with this week's fishing report and forecast. Just finishing up a trip this morning. I had 5 guys out here this morning, a couple kids on the boats. We just do some mainly trout fishing. But this week our main focus has still been tarpon. There's still a lot of tarpon around. That wind shut them down for a couple days. Was worried it might have been the end of our season, but we still have quite a few fish around. And most of the fish right now you're going to see out on the beaches. Not too many fish on the inside after that wind blow, but there's still plenty of fish to be caught out on the beach. If tarpon isn't your thing, big snook are starting to show up in good numbers out here. You're starting to see some big fish on the north end of Vancouver, south end of Vancouver, out there on honeymoon. Fish these fish on an outgoing tide with a big grunt on the bottom, and you do pretty well. Lots of redfish starting to show up. The further we get in the summer, the more rain we start getting out here, the more redfish we're going to catch. It's been pretty good for redfishing this week, and I only expect that to get better. Be safe out there. We got 4th of July weekend coming up here. It's going to start getting a little crazy out here for that weekend. And then we have scallop season right after that. So this is probably the last peaceful weekend coming up this weekend. After that, it's going to be pretty much a zoo out here for about 40 days straight. So get out here, have a good time, be safe, pay attention to other boaters, and have a good time. Captain Michael Dawson, Patriotic Guide Service.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
He always does. He's always out there, man. He does really good in his area. He fishes hard. He's a hard fisherman.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's always out there. He works constantly. So, yeah, and it's good for him. He's young.
That's the good part. As you get older, the days get a little harder.
Yes, they do. They get hotter and longer. So
and I don't know, maybe I wonder if it is with age. I feel like the summers the last couple of years has been hotter than normal to me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's because I'm getting older. It's age, right?
It's age.
You think it's age?
Yeah, it's age.
Yeah,
yeah. It does. I mean, it as you get older, it zaps your energy faster. Is the best way I can describe it. And you do get, I've already been overheated once this year, and that was last month in May, and it wasn't that hot. So, yeah, it weighs on you pretty good as you get older. So, you just have to drink a lot of water and take your time, take it slow, or get out at the crack of dawn. And like I said, get in about 10, 11 o'clock before it gets too hot. Because honestly, afternoon bite, offshore is probably going to be good, but it's just hot.
To me, after by 11:30, quarter to 12, that sun gets up there. The bite slows down until late in the afternoon. So, yeah, I'd rather start early
Yeah.
So by 11 o'clock, 11:30, you're ready to come back in, and you
Mhm.
got your fish, and the bite was still good, but you know, well, let's see. So let's get Scotty Rowe.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. This is Captain Scotty Rowe from Charlotte Harbor. I haven't been out on the water a whole lot the last few weeks, but I did manage to get out a couple days this week, and some pretty good stuff going on out there. Besides, boy, it's hot. And I'll tell you what, I've been trying to get on that water early and get off the water by noon before the heat of that day comes in. But nonetheless, the fishing has been great. Scattered redfish up under the mangroves on the higher tides. 3-4 foot of water on some of the grass flats, pretty much anywhere in the harbor. Been getting a lot of good trout. Mangrove snapper bite is still pretty strong. We're still getting some really good mangrove snapper, and they're scattered everywhere, even if you're fishing under docks or up in the trees on the higher tides. And of course, that's one of my favorite eating fish. So when I like to keep something, I go snapper fishing. The really biggest thing that's really on fire right now is the tarpon bite and the shark bite. We're getting full-size tarpon out in the middle of the harbor, and there's still some in Boca Grande Pass. I've been fishing for a lot of the juveniles in that 10, 20, 30 pound range in some of the canal systems. Shark bite has just been, they're everywhere. It doesn't matter where you go. I've run into some big bulls over 100 pounds the last week, and a lot of those little small bonnet heads, black tips, small bull sharks. Just, it's summertime, and those sharks are going crazy. So, and it's pretty easy to catch them. Usually I just find a school of ladyfish, catch a few ladyfish, and chunk them up and throw them out there for bait. On the tarpon, what I've been using for bait is I've been using big threadfin herring, throwing my cast net on them when you see them on the surface. So all kinds of exciting stuff going on here in Charlotte Harbor. If y'all want to come down and catch some fishies, we're getting her done. Tight lines, everybody. We'll talk at y'all later.
Thanks, Scotty.
Thank you, Scotty. Yeah, that's a lot of big sharks down there.
Yeah, and we're hitting a lot of sharks here, and I'm probably going to start. I'm going to dust off some of my bigger tackle, and I think I'm going to start doing some shark fishing because, I mean, 2 weeks ago we were out there catching some redfish, and I had a tiger, a nurse, blacktip, bull shark, and a lemon shark, all circling around the boat. So there's a lot of sharks.
Now, I don't see I hardly ever see a tiger shark.
Yeah, this is the first year I have seen tiger shark, and it might have been the same one. Who knows? They tend to be territorial, but he's about 6, 7 foot, just kind of swimming around the boat. It's neat to see. You don't really see those on a regular basis, but this year I've seen 2 of them, and again, it may be the same one because it's kind of the same area. But yeah, it was kind of cool to see them again. But yeah, and they're shallow. I mean, we're talking 2-3 foot of water. We're not deep.
Now, how big was the tiger shark, Mike?
About I would say 6, 7 foot, easy.
Wow. Yeah, yeah.
It's not a small shark, and it might have been bigger,
Yeah.
But yeah, they're definitely hanging around. But I'm thinking I'm going to dust off some of my bigger stuff and maybe catch a couple of these big, because the sharks that I'm seeing aren't small. They're massive sharks. So may see if my clients want to do that and get a big shark. It's going to take us a while to get it in, but I've got the equipment for it, so I think I might try it.
And listen, we got to remind everybody, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we're going to be at the Tampa Boat Show.
Yes.
That's right. We're doing seminars. We're going to have some stuff to give away. We're going to have Florida fishing products at our booth with all the new reels. We got the new line of Lee Fisher Hyper rods that we're going to have on sale at the booth at a real good deal. So you need to come by if you're looking for a fishing reel, if you're looking for a good rod. This is going to be a good time because for the boat show, they're giving us special pricing to anybody that's at the show, because normally you don't get discount on these products. And
No.
so you need to come by. We're going to be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Plus, Everything else, I mean, hey, you never know. We're also working, and by the way, if you're thinking about redoing the deck on your boat, before you do, stop by the booth over at the show. I'm going to have samples of deck armor. They just did my the boat that we're doing for a TV show on how to take an older boat. We got a 2012 Ranger 2410 that we took it just as is. We took all these videos and pictures, and we're going through it in stages. We just did all the decking. Now we've got wired up, and Largo. They're doing all the new wiring. I mean, with the time we get through, we're going to do a video on taking this boat and how much it takes to bring it up to like a new boat, something that you would really want to keep, and is it worth it? Because I've been talking to a lot of people, and the way boats have gone up, a 24-foot boat now is easy, 140, 150,000.
Yeah.
Well, if you got a nice 23, 24-foot boat that you really like and you want to keep, you might want to look at, when we get through with this video, with this show, because we're going to do it in stages and say, look, if for example, you got a good boat, but it's got a bunch of spider cracks on it.
Mhm.
That happens over the years.
Yeah.
Well, you can spend a couple of $1,000s doing gel work, and fiberglass work on it, and then it might start cracking again. But if you do something like dock armor, deck armor, what the heck?
Mhm.
You did it, it'll never show up again. Plus, you made the soundproofing the boat a little better, made it cushiony, easy to clean. So
Yeah.
we're going to do this. If you got wiring you think you need to be done, give you an idea. Look, this is what it costs to do the wiring on the boat. And then you can look at it and say, you know what? I got this boat. It's mine. I own it. Maybe it's worth it to me to do these 4 things for about $10,000. And I got a boat that's pretty good shape. It's
Yeah.
like your boat. You love your boat.
Hmm.
I mean, if you went and replaced your boat, it really hasn't changed any, except
No.
the price.
Right. Yeah.
A Hughes now is $99,000,
Oh,
89,000.
easy. Yeah.
So if you got a Hughes like yours and you own it, and for maybe 8 or 10,000, you can make it look like new again. Why spend 89,000?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's the feeling, because when I redid the motor, steering, controls, all of that fun stuff that I did, jack plate, everything else that I did, I redid it a couple of years ago. It's like a brand new boat again.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice because you got all this new stuff on there. It reacts differently, and of course the motor I got was definitely an improvement with the show, and just the performance, the whole shots, everything else, and I tuned it all out. I mean, it's a completely new boat, and you can do that with just investing in what you've got and upgrade this or change this out and put that decking on there, and you got a brand new boat. Not only that, then you're going to kind of increase your value. So who knows? If you're really looking to sell it, down the line to get something bigger, do all these improvements on them, you're just going to help your bottom line later on to sell it even more. So,
All right, and let's get Jessica on.
yep.
Hey guys, Captain Jessica Hanovic with the You'll Hook 'em Charters out of Chaskawiska, Florida. So I haven't been able to get out too much in the last 2 weeks. My dad had some health issues. He seems to be doing better the last couple of days. So we'll just take it one day at a time. So I haven't been getting out too much. Last week I did go out in the evening, and high tide was like 7 or 8 o'clock that night. It was pretty windy, just like this afternoon. The wind has been picking up. But we did use topwater and jigs, Q8 super baits, and it produced overslot reds, a couple slot nice reds, and some snook. Sunday high tide was 9 a.m. so we went out about 7, and once again we used topwater and jig only, and we caught some nice reds and some snook again. And it seems like when they are biting, it's pretty aggressive. So I don't know what kind of bait has been producing better each week because I haven't been using any. Best times to go fishing right now is early morning or 4 or 5 o'clock till dark. In the middle of the day is just way too hot, and you just got to be safe out there because you don't want to have a heat stroke or nothing like that. So if you want to come to Chaz and explore the area and catch some fish, you can call me at 352-464-7309. And because Chaskawissa does have a lot of springs in it, we could also hit the springs or just do a river day. So just call or text me.
Thank you, Jessica.
Thanks, Jessica.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
in fact, I've got one of those coming up after the 4th. I've got clients of mine who don't really want to go fishing. They said, just take us up the Rainbow River. I'm like, perfect.
yeah.
We'll jump in that 72-degree water and get cooled off all day. Now, I'll bring a couple rods because you can catch some bass and stuff like that in that Rainbow River as well. It's kind of fun, but just depends on how crowded it is.
Well, definitely this is the time of the year that I want to go out early and be back in. Because I tell you what I noticed, the bite, any kind of bite you have, it seems to, as the day goes on, it slows down more and more. And by
definitely.
11:30, quarter to 12, especially if you're fishing the flats, it kind of almost dies out.
Yeah.
Because that water just gets so hot that even if the fish are there, they get lethargic. They don't want to feed.
No,
There's
the
no
oxygen level drops and they'll just kind of shut down for a while until it kind of cools off or something like that. And especially since we haven't had a whole lot of rain, big rain events that kind of cool that water down and oxygenate it with the rain falling on it. Those fish will get lethargic and they won't do a whole lot. So, so get out there, get early. Or fish
again. Mike and I want to see you at the boat show. If you got any chance, come on by. We're going to be there all day, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And let's just shoot the bull a little bit, have a good time. You'll get to meet a lot of nice people. They're sold out again as far as booth space and everything. So
good.
A lot of people are hoping for the best. So we're hoping for the best, and we like to see a lot of our viewers. And again, we want to thank you guys. We had one of our shows that's about 3 weeks old. It broke 28,000 views on YouTube.
Yeah, it's good.
And I'll tell you what, we got the one coming out on red fishing in Louisiana on the rock jetty for the big reds. You don't want to miss that show. I mean, we had redfish up to 4 footers. and that's going to be a super show. But things are doing good. We want to thank you guys. Thank you for passing on about the podcast, because what happens with the podcast, there's not a lot of people right now, but then during the week you see the numbers just go. Everybody starts watching it.
And please like and subscribe because that also gives us kind of numbers and knowing what's going on and how many. And that way you get updates. If you like and subscribe, you get updates of what's happening and what's going on and when we got new episodes coming out, and obviously every Monday night the podcast. So like and subscribe. It helps us and helps you, and there we go. So
all right, and thank you. And we're out of time, so we will hopefully see you at the boat show. And if we don't, we'll see you next Monday night.
Sounds good.
All right, take care. God bless everybody.
Thanks all.
Goodbye.